Hello and welcome to the Success with Savita podcast, where we share hot tips on how to do life and business without losing your mind. I'm your host, Savita Nanjappa, entrepreneur, high-achieving 9-to-5er turned transformational success coach, helping you create a wildly successful business. Come hang out with me and other fabulous humans like you every week for stories and chats packed with a healthy dose of tips, resources, how-tos, and real talk. Side effects may include a happier and more confident you with each passing day.
Hi, and welcome back to the Success with Savita podcast. And today, as promised, I am in studio recording this episode. It's been a while. I know there's been a lot of background noise in some of my previous episodes because I have been trying to record from my studio at home, which is not really very soundproof. But as promised, I've got myself into studio, and I think going forward, most of our episodes will be in studio, even if it's a solo podcast. With that, I'm excited to dive into today's episode because we are going to be discussing a concept that has been circulating all over social media recently. The winter arc. What is it? If you've been listening to, or if you've been watching Instagram, if you've been listening to some of the more international podcasts, if you've been watching on TikTok, for those who are outside of India, of course, we'll break down what it means. Winter arc has become a really big concept and everybody's talking about it because at this time of the year, most of the Western countries and most of us, including in India, we all have winter. And while down south, winter is not as strong or as cold as it gets, of course, unless you're in the hilly regions. Unlike the north, the south has a milder winter, but the north of India does have a sharp, cold winter. So maybe it makes sense, but I just thought I would break down this concept. So what we'll do today is we'll break down what it means, how it's different from the usual new year, new me mindset, and I'll share my personal take on leaning into my own winter arc this season. So if you're looking to embrace a more introspective, growth-oriented approach as we close out the year, this is the episode for you. So what is the winter arc? First, let's talk about what it actually means. The term itself is pretty poetic. It draws inspiration from the natural rhythms of winter, a time when many animals hibernate, nature slows down, and even the trees shed their leaves to conserve energy. The winter arc, in a way, mirrors the slower, introspective season of personal growth. It's a period to dial down, go inward, reflect, and start cultivating changes that may not immediately be visible. So, why the sudden trend? I think it started with an influencer, but I think it started with an influencer from Nigeria, if I'm not wrong. I need to just check that on a TikTok video. And then it just went viral, like a lot of things do. And I think it's partly because people are craving a break from the constant hustle culture. We're exhausted from pushing forward without a pause. And a lot of us have realized that progress sometimes needs a season of quiet planning, healing, or resetting, or just diving in and focusing and prioritizing on working on your goals. The winter arc is about allowing ourselves that grace to actually stop and prepare for what's next without the pressure to perform. So, why embracing the winter arc is so important? Let's talk about it, right? This is not about indulging in laziness or hiding away. Quite the opposite. It's an opportunity to work on foundational things that often get neglected when we are running at full speed. It's about reflection, inner work, and letting go of things that aren't serving us. Embracing this winter phase lets us be more intentional with our goals and values instead of just thinking, I want to be more productive or make more money. We're asking the deeper questions like, why do I want these things? What purpose does this serve in my bigger vision for my life? And by slowing down, we can actually uncover perspectives or insights that might surprise us, ones we would have missed if we were just rushing from task to task. And what I would like to talk about next is we'll get a little personal, talk about how I am embracing this winter arc phase, right? While I'm not using the term in my mind as winter arc, but I know that these next 2-3 seasons are also actually busy season for me work wise, but it's also the holidays, it's also the year end, and people are mostly slowing down, shutting down, taking it easy because everyone's like, hey, we'll do things when January comes. But winter doesn't end at the end of December, right? It continues during Jan Feb. And the way I like to look at the winter arc, or how I'd like to apply this in my own life, this theme in my own life, is to really look at unpacking and redefining how I approach work, how I approach wellness, how I approach health, my habits, my routines, and my mindset. It's similar to winding down at the end of the year, but I'm actually not necessarily winding down because there are a lot of projects up in the air and that needs to come into fruition. Here are some of my tips on what I am doing in this winter arc. And if it's helpful for you, you can, look at how you can embrace and create your own must do's or to do's for this winter season, right? If it's a concept that resonates with you. Now, here are some things that I'm doing. I'm getting number one, I'm getting super clear on who my highest self is. And I think for anyone, right, if you're going to be doing this, my number one tip is get super clear on who your highest self is. Who's this? How does she look? How does she feel every day? What do you do for work? What values do you stand for? What are some key qualities? What's your routine, rituals, habits, confidence level, stress levels? Think about all of that. What are these different things that you do on a day to day basis? And how are these having an impact on your life, on your energy, on your stress levels, on your mindset, on your hopes, your aspirations, your motivation level, and your discipline? So, really sit down, take some time to reflect, to journal through who this higher self is. And I tend to do this exercise a lot more often, but usually at the end of the year is always a great time for me to do it because I know I'm going into a new year. My second tip is to take these broad goals of what your higher self looks like and then use that to create daily, weekly, monthly habits that support this higher self of yours, right? So, what can you now do now that you know who this higher self of yours looks like? What's the delta? What's the gap? And what is it that you can do to now break these down into monthly, weekly goals? I prefer to do quarterly, like overall view for the year, but also quarterly, monthly, and then weekly goals. Number three is to make long term joy, to focus on long term joy versus short term rewards in making decisions, right? Like in this moment, you may want to act on something, you may want to do that, take that trip, or you may want to buy that item. But do you want to instead put your money towards maybe a longer term investment purchase, which will be with you for years to come? That's just a small example, but this would apply to every area of your life and how you kind of apply this more long term approach versus short term, right? Short term is good for some things, but not always. Yeah, so that's my tip number three. Number four is to make sure you focus on your nutrition. And this is something that I have been having in my conversations with my clients at this point, where I'm saying, please look at your supplements, look at your diet, speak to a nutritionist, see how you can upgrade that. Because sometimes you're just going through the motions and then you're actually feeling depleted, you're feeling tapped out because either you're not focusing on sleeping well or eating well, or you're missing some meals. And this happens to the best of people, best of the performers who are aware, who know it. But sometimes circumstances that they've just got into a job and then they're missing meals because they've not yet got into a routine. So just take some time to figure that out. My next tip for you is on your reading. And this is for me, when I'm sharing tips, it's for you. And this is what I'm also doing. My next thing is update your reading during this time, right? Days are shorter. It gets darker soon. This is a good time to, look at your reading. What are you reading? I personally, I love reading and I like to do a mix of fiction and non-fiction. Last year and a half, I think I've done more fiction than non-fiction. So now I like to kind of balance it. There is some reading that I need to do for work, for my coaching practice. I also need to do it to kind of keep up on what's the high performance people talking about, what's in, what's out, what's a book that is a must read, things like that. But I really feel like I could do with an upgrade. And what I'd like to do before this year goes out is look at the list of books that I had that I wanted to read, And there are some books, crazily hard to believe that I would do this, but I've actually bought some books and not yet finished it. So I want to look at getting to that. Fiction happens faster, but nonfiction is not something that I'm going towards because I just feel like nonfiction is not easy reading. So it's not something that I can do before I sleep. I like to read like when I'm learning. So that's something that I would do. My next thing that I want to focus on is to incorporate more walking. I do go to the gym and I do sometimes go and walk, but there are so many opportunities for me to walk during my waiting period and all of that. So I want to incorporate more walking, definitely do 10K steps. Number 7 for me is to sleep more. I feel like I sleep well, but if I had to check how much deep sleep I do get, I think I'm not doing very well in that area. I'm extremely sound sensitive. So any noise, anything can wake me up. And then if I'm woken up, it takes me a little while to fall back to sleep. So my next must do during this winter phase is to sleep more. Great time. It gets darker earlier. So definitely want to increase my sleep by an hour, which means getting to bed earlier. My next must do is to get sunlight every morning. I do use a lot of devices, so I think my blue light um, is a lot higher, that I'm getting exposed to blue light a lot more. And therefore, I know that sometimes I get cooped up working all day. I'm in front of the camera, I'm on my Zoom calls, and I don't get enough sunlight. But here's the thing, when I go to my gym in the morning to exercise, I used to take my car before, and we have an electric bike now. And I made the switch. Now it's been almost 8 to 10 months. I made the switch to riding a bike. I am a little nervous because it's not really the safest to ride a bike. But in the mornings when there's less traffic, I can get away with it, I think. So I do take the bike, and when I'm coming back, the sun is out, which is around 8:30. The sun is out, and I get some of that sunlight. So I feel like that's a good way to get my sunlight. And it really helps, reduce that blue light exposure. Even if if it's for 15, 20 minutes, it doesn't matter. It really, I feel like, helps and wakes me up. I'm of course woken up by the time I hit the gym. I'm woken up because when I'm riding in the morning, the air is so much cooler, at least where I am, Bangalore. It's so much cooler, it's crisp, and then it really wakes you the hell up. And then when I'm coming back, I get that sunshine. So I think that's great for me. And it also will help me sleep better because I'm improving and increasing the melatonin in my body. And I think I may have shared in the previous episodes that I'm really looking at using more red light treatments and stuff like that. So I think all of that's going to make a difference, not just to the melatonin, not just to reduce the exposure, but I also have felt like red light helps my sight and my vision better. So I'm all in on that. My next one is to really hydrate. I have been told over and over again, whether at the dermatologist when I go and I did a test a while ago on my skin, and they said I'm extremely dehydrated. They said this last year. And then recently I did a blood test. So I think I also did a test for heavy metals. And everywhere I got, one of the inputs I got was that I am dehydrated. So hydration is big, and not just regular hydration. We do use a lot of RO water. So I'm mineralizing my water. So I do use, those dispersible capsules that you get in my water, one every day, and especially on the days I go to the gym, because I feel like lose a lot of salt, and then it's not getting added back in maybe in my food. And we do follow a kind of low salt diet, and because ours is the RO water, it's all filtered out. So I do use that, and that's something that I want to focus on. So just to summarize, here are things that I'm doing for my winter arc. Number one, getting super clear on who my highest self is. Then looking at what the higher self looks like, looking at what habits, routines, behaviors, rituals are helping me or not helping me at this point to be at my highest self. And therefore, putting in action steps that are going to take me closer to that, if not all there. And then next is to focus on long-term joy, long-term payoffs versus short-term hits, dopamine hits. To also make sure that I look at my nutrition, get that right, talk to a dietitian. Every conversation just builds more awareness, and you can just add that little element in, even if it's something that you do once in 6 months. It's so helpful to incorporate walking 10K steps every day, to sleep an hour more, to update my reading for sure, build my list for next year, to get those books in, to complete the ones that I've already got, to update all of that and make sure that I'm learning something that inspires me, that motivates me, that really has an improvement and impact on my mindset. And finally, of course, getting sunlight every day for 15 to 20 minutes every morning. And if possible, late in the evening. It's a bit hard, but between 5 and 6, I think I could get some sunlight. And then, of course, to make sure that I'm hydrating and hydrating well. I hope these are things that can, give you ideas on how you can build your winter arc rituals. So, to wrap things up, I want to remind everyone listening that a winter arc is deeply personal and there's no right way to do it. It's a season to focus on you, to ask yourself the deep questions, to pull back from the noise, and to nurture the parts of yourself that need a little bit of love. When we allow ourselves this time, we are ultimately setting the stage for a more aligned, powerful, and joyful year ahead. As we head into these colder months, I encourage you to embrace in India's shorter colder months, but in other parts of the world, it's longer. I encourage you to embrace this season, take it as an opportunity to rest, reflect, and renew. I'm fully leaning into mine. I like this trend. I mean, it's an interesting trend. I mean, what is life, right? If you don't have something new to think about, a new way to approach the same thing that we always talk about, right? We're always talking about eating well, sleeping well, exercising, all of that, improving your mindset, having better habits. So it's a new way to look at this, and I'm going to embrace mine, and I hope you'll join me in this journey. So that's what the Winter Up Trend is all about. Thank you so much for tuning into the episode today. And like always, if this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear how you're planning to embrace your winter arc. Share it on social media, tag me, or leave me a comment. And as always, stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. One thing I do want to add before we fade out is leave me, we're focusing on Spotify at this point. So if you're on Spotify, listening to this on Spotify, leave me a 5-star rating and a follow, and it will be a huge help for me in growing this podcast. Thank you, and have a fab week ahead.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you like this episode and you want more, you can go to the show notes on my website, which is successwithsavita.com/podcast. If you like what you've heard so far, I would be grateful to you if you could leave me a 5-star review, subscribe to this podcast, and share with a friend who may find this useful. You can also follow me on my Instagram at successwithsavita and DM me any questions you may have, and I will be happy to answer them for you. Until the next episode, believe in yourself and all the best to your success.